What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Beanball Podcast. This is episode 55. We are your hosts, Alan and Alan. What's going on, bud?
What's up, everyone? Not much, man. Finally got ordered a Power Wheel, so finally came in today, and I also found one for $20 on Facebook, and then upgraded the battery to a DeWalt battery, and we're zooming, man. So getting ready. Payne's getting ready for his first race next weekend.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
What's up with you?
Work. Buffet went well last weekend. This week it's kind of been slow, but this is the true test of the oceanfront being sand soccer weekend. I don't know how tomorrow's going to go because, rain's in the forecast, so we'll see if it holds up, if it does rain. But, they haven't done this event in almost 2 years since they didn't do it last year, so...
they're doing the, soccer?
Yeah, the sand soccer on the beach.
Yeah, cool.
So it's going to be interesting. We'll see what it goes, but let's go right into it, baseball talk. Well, we talked last week how, we're almost 2 months in.
Yep.
If you think about it, last year, it's almost 60 games, and someone, Fox, MLB on Fox posted what would be technically this year's playoffs if we went by last year's rule of 60 games and the expanded playoffs. And some interesting to see where some people are ranked as of right now.
Yeah.
It is very interesting, the number one seed in the National League, who would have thought would have been the San Francisco Giants.
Yeah, if we closed up shop at 60 games, the Giants. And then they would face off against the Cardinals.
As the 8 seed.
So the 8 seed, okay.
So then your 4 seed would be the Padres and Cubs, which those two lately Cubs have owned. So if that would stay true, they probably would have took that series. The Mets rival against Atlanta. Atlanta's been up and down, can't say consistent. And then this is the other shocker is the Brewers at not 2, but number 7 being the Dodgers.
Yeah. Ooh.
Like, that's how far they've gone because, the division not doing well. And it's like, man, like that would be insane.
Yeah, that would be tough. If I had to go off this one, I think San Fran would take that series. You're right, man. I think the Cubs might have an edge on this one.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a tight one. I don't know.
Yeah, it depends on what pitching shows up and if the offense shows up. Like, it would probably go deep to the 5. I think they did 5 games the first round. So they did 3 the first round. That's right.
3 best of
3.
Yeah, but okay, yeah. Okay. Then the next one, obviously, I got the Mets taking that one.
Yeah.
And then I probably have the Dodgers taking
Dodgers, even though they're 7 seed,
right,
I think they would handle business.
But the next one would be tough because you got the Mets and the Dodgers, and then that would be a series.
Mm-hmm. That would go because that'd be the regular division round. You'd think it's 5 games. That's probably going 5. And then if we say maybe Cubs somehow, or no matter who came out against
I
Giants,
like the Giants, man.
Giants would be a true test.
Giants,
what they can do in a 5-game series.
Yeah.
That'd be very interesting to see. Man.
And then after that, I don't know because it could go a lot of ways.
It can go who wins what. But then we go to the American League. The team that's still surprising after losing 2 pitchers, 1 free agency, 1 to trade, would still have the number 1 seed as they did last year after 60 games. The Rays.
Exactly, the Rays, man. That's tough. But the Rays would be matched up with the Yankees.
And the way the Yankees are playing, I think that they'll handle that pretty quickly.
You think? Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, and I would agree.
Unless it's Gerrit Cole on the game mound, you'll probably lose that 1 game, but then take the other 2. Or who knows, the bullpen would give it up after a great Cole start. Who knows how that goes.
And you never know with these guys in the same division when they face off because they know each other.
Especially be a 3-game series. That's even tougher.
Exactly.
Man,
okay.
The
next one would be tough too.
It would be. The semi good offensive team of the Red Sox and against the Houston Astros.
Yeah, they'd have the Red Sox at a 4 seed and the Astros would be the 5 seed if they ended at 60.
Yep.
I don't know who would take this one. I'm going to lean towards.
It would come to 3.
I'd lean toward the Astros.
I think Astros would get the lean because of pitching currently. Offensively, Red Sox probably have a slight edge, but we'll see where they're at. But, of course, this is just theoretical.
Yeah, theoretical. And then the next one would be the A's at the 3 seed against the Indians with the 6 seed.
Who would have thought the Indians? I know expanded, but still, who would they still kind of make a noise a little bit after trading their star and a pitcher? You thinking it's time to rebuild, but yet they're still kind of hanging in there.
That series, I'd go with the A's.
Yeah, I think so too.
The next one, we'd have the White Sox at 2.
The 2 young teams.
And then the Blue Jays at 7.
Yeah.
That's nice.
That is a nice. And if without Blue Jays getting any pitching at the trade deadline, I don't see it's a series. I think White Sox will handle that.
I agree. I like the White Sox through there. I even like the White Sox advancing to the next round already.
Yeah, ultimately, I think the next round you would think I'm thinking it'll be Rays and White Sox as we sit right now. If you think about it, and then going to a 7-game series to go to the World Series, that'd be a tight matchup there. I don't know.
Yeah, it would. I like the White Sox still in this matchup still.
It depends on how well the rookie pitching or the young pitching of Tampa Bay does for them.
Right. And I like, like I said, the hitters for the Sox have to step up too and just keep doing what they're doing.
Which, Jose Abreu is leading the league again, RBIs yet again, coming off MVP season. It's like, yet again, here he is doing his thing.
That's right, man. Don't count them out.
So it's interesting. Like, could this be the future? After they want to talk about expanded playoffs. Like, could this be something where, hell, college football's finally talking about it,
and they needed to.
Yeah,
Football.
So it's like interesting. Do they expand to the 7, or do they do like what they said, adding 2 more, where the number 1 seed gets a bye? It's gonna be very interesting come collective bargaining agreement, but it's interesting. It's insane that we're talking 2 months in, and this was our season last year.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah, dude. Now, speaking of White Sox, I know it's really off topic, but I met Tim Anderson's father-in-law this week.
The work.
Yeah. They're looking for a property for one of their relatives. It's pretty cool. But anyways,
so right. It's interesting. It's unreal. Like, now you really think about how like short and interesting last season was.
Mm-hmm.
Like, of course, we didn't get it to like end of July, but now you think about like early season, like, season would technically be over.
Yeah, man. And when I think back at last season, I'm like, dude, how did we do it? Because it's our first year we tried doing a podcast. Baseball's basically canceled. We got to start out with KBO talk.
Yeah, it was everything was leading up. We're about like 2 weeks ready to go. For, like, we just did our predictions.
Yeah, man.
And it's like COVID. Like,
what's this?
What are we doing?
Yeah,
like,
we're off for
shut
2
down
weeks?
a month, maybe 2 months. Can we get baseball, please?
Yeah, so it's been a wild ride. So coming off from where we were last season, we've been doing great. The season's been doing good. We haven't seen nowhere near as many shutdowns as we did last season.
No.
I mean, we had some at the beginning.
We had a couple, they had to call some people. Some people got sick, but the world's opening.
Yeah.
Like tonight in Citi Field, the biggest crowd since 2019. Stadiums are fully open. They're slowly getting better. And we're about what? Couple weeks, All-Stars, you think that's going to be a sold-out crowd, big event. So it's good. It's a good feeling to see the world come back to normal, going to be able to go to baseball games.
Yeah, man.
Especially like tonight, like just watching a little bit before we came on is the commentators, Gary and them are in the same booth.
Nice.
Steve, the commentator, is out from his studio on the field to be able to do information. It's good to see stuff like that coming back.
And it's a good matchup tonight. You got DeGrom on the mound against Snell.
Yeah. So this next topic we got to talk about is this. We all talked about this foreign substance, and what we talked about last week. MLB is getting to start cracking down. Well, the one everyone keeps talking about is Gerrit Cole. Well, he was available for a press conference and was asked, "Have you used this stuff?"
And I guess he wasn't expecting them to even ask it because he's like, I don't know. Don't know how to answer that. So that alone just told us your answer.
Yeah, I don't know how to answer that.
Which means yes.
You could just say plead the fifth. No.
You could just said no. But you're obviously saying that you did use it. And what were they talking about? Spider tack or something?
Yeah, spider tack's like the big one people are hearing. I guess it's easy. You can order off Amazon. Apparently, it's like real cheap.
So like I said, all he had to do was say yes or no, and then he goes, I don't know if I'm quoting him now. I don't quite know how to answer that, to be honest. I mean, there are customs and practices that have been passed down from older players to younger players, from the last generation of players to this generation of players. And, I think there are some things that are certainly out of bounds in that regard. And I've stood pretty firm on the terms of that, in terms of communication between our peers and whatnot. And again, like I mentioned earlier, this is important to a lot of people that love the game, including players in this room, including fans, including teams. If MLB wants to, legislate some more stuff, that's a conversation that we can have, but ultimately we should be all pulling in the same direction on this. So Gerrit Cole is basically saying that everybody uses it, so stop coming after us. This is what we do. And Pete Alonso even had to back him up.
His was very interesting, especially because Pierce theories out there would love this one. That he don't mind. Of course, a lot of players especially in like wet games, cold games, do you want more control? Because by golly, who wants like Kevin Pillar's example. Who wants to take a 95-mile-an-hour ball to the face?
Yeah, and I'm glad that he's back out there hitting and hitting home runs and stuff because I don't know, man.
The
It's tough to come back.
Is that rosin or is that dried up blood on the bat he's using? A lot of people are like, I don't know what to confuse if that is. Some people believe it is the bat.
I can't imagine it's the bat because first of all, bats probably last a game. Like they're gonna go through some bats. Man.
Some people are like, yo, is this the bat? He's hit 2 home runs with this bat. I'm like, no, there's no way that he's.
They
out
need to
there.
put that in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
the Mets Hall of Fame.
If he just hit a home run with that bat, with the blood bat, like yo, put it away. But
Pillar's revenge.
but no one wants to take that stuff to the face. Like
no, if it helps them control it, that's fine. Yeah. It's not like it's.
But the conspiracy theory that he said that MLB needs to realize to stop changing the ball because of free agent class.
I saw that.
I'm like, hold on.
Yeah,
even if the Mets. This is true. I'm like, this is going to be because think about it. The year that we had a lot of pitchers free agency a couple years ago, the ball was juiced.
Yeah,
high home runs. Now this year we have a lot of people who are shortstops free agency. The ball is dead.
Now what if that came out, man? What if
remember MLB now owns Rollins.
That's crazy.
They have control over
that's
everything.
Not good. That's not good. That's what happens when you get a monopoly. They let them control it and they can do what they want.
So it makes the players get paid less money.
Exactly, which is ridiculous because we already have guys who never step foot on a full season getting paid pretty big contracts. So I don't know, man. It might be something to look into.
Now with this being out there, some people are going to go deep dive. Someone's going to go deep dive the internet, the stats, and we are going to hear about this if it comes out. This is a staggering threat, especially they'll watch it this year, they'll watch it next year. Well, if what stats change.
Yeah,
for the ball.
If this is true, then this is not a good look at all for MLB. They're going to get
especially going into a collective bargaining agreement conversation.
Man, that's not good. I hope it's not true, but if it is, expect some people to be suing the heck out of you guys. I don't know, man. It's just a lot.
Yeah,
it's a lot to take in.
If anything comes out that this is 100% true, like someone leaks information. Whoo! You're talking about $1 billion being sued from Atlanta.
If it is true, that's coming out.
Oh, dude, the players are going to go after them.
And then after that, they asked the Mets GM about Pete Alonso's comments, and he was just basically like, I didn't know he was into conspiracy theories.
Like, what are you supposed to fight? You don't want to deny it. Like, you got to have fun with like, yeah, okay. But, man, like, if anywhere near that's true. And then Gerrit Cole, of course, Josh Donaldson said it's funny that his spin rate went down after the 10-game suspension after some minor league players. Of course, they faced each other. Cole had the better game, had 2 strikeouts on him. So,
but this brings us back to, I don't know, an episode we had a while ago where we talked about doctoring things and because somebody cheated, that might have ruined somebody's chances to stay up in the big leagues because, they brought him in to do a job and you guys are cheating and it just, it cost them. So the same thing could be said about doctoring the balls or whatever they're doing to make it harder for pitchers to do their thing or hitters to do their thing.
Yeah. It's interesting, especially I think after Chapman gave up the save last night, his spin rate was down. They were like, oh, is he not using now? It's like, this is going to be a conversation until we actually get facts after they go hard, start testing these balls, and look at the difference.
Well, the good thing to know is that as soon as they started talking about doctoring balls, the Mets players came right away. Nobody even asked them right away to DeGrom say, yeah, this guy doesn't use. He's just a different animal.
Yeah. Proof fact that he does not use. Yeah,
I can confirm. They kept tagging each other I can confirm.
I was like, what? And I watched the video. I'm like, because he touched his glove. That might be something, baseball players are particularly jumping over the line, hitting
that's me. I want to step on a line. Nope.
So maybe he after a certain play he likes to pump his glove like he's pumping up those shoes for get that dunk. I don't know.
Yeah, man. Or about to battle the beast. Who knows?
Yeah. So it's interesting, but hey, we'll see.
All right. Well, then let's move on. So the next topic we want to talk about is the MLB shifts its Hall of Fame 2020 ceremony date.
Yeah. So they said limited person. It was going to be July finally because year later COVID, but they shifted yet again. They have moved it from July 25th up to September 8th. Will take place outdoors in front of limited crowds because of the coronavirus. Maybe they're hoping that everything's better and they can open up to more people. I'm hoping. Why postpone it 2 months? Right? Yeah, August. Yeah, almost 2 months. Because last ceremony back in 2019, it was about 55,000 fans there. So what is limited capacity? What's going to be? No one knows for sure. I really think that I hope that there is ability to give a couple more time where more fans can go celebrate. Because you think Jeter is going to draw a massive crowd being the Yankees. So it's like, you want to make sure you have enough fans because, it's a small town. This is when they make probably a lot of their money is when the big ceremonies come. The farms let them use their land to camp on. So, but it will be held at 1:30 Wednesday, September 8th.
Okay. Well, it's a class of 2020.
Yep.
It looks like it's outdoor seating. So, just like, I don't really watch a lot of these. I remember really watching it when Mike Piazza got in.
Yeah, it's
and
the same
like,
field.
Griffey. Yeah. So I don't know what they consider limited, but there is quite a bit of area to attend.
Yeah. And the way it's going, I don't see why.
Especially in September, they might change it by then.
That's what I'm hoping for. Even though we're doing well, we're in almost mid-June now. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, if we give them from now 2 months, like 2.5 months. So in 2 months, if we know everything's clear, let's do it. Let's have a big old ceremony, celebrate baseball, have our weekend, bring our Hall of Famers in for the parade, have a great time. I can only hope. Yeah,
so it looks like the class of 2020 is going to have Derek Jeter, Marvin Miller, Ted Simmons, and Larry Walker.
Yeah, because, there's really, because, this is the celebration from 2020. I was like, what about 2021? And then I was like, oh, that's right. No one got in.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised.
So I'm like, oh, yeah, I forgot. No one got in, so really don't have to stress about 2021 class.
Exactly.
Lucky them.
It is lucky for them.
Because then that would have been like, okay, this is 2020. Next day is going to be 2021.
Yeah, that would have been a little, not enough time to celebrate.
Yeah, like how you going to like separate it. And like this, I was like, what? We're in the outside. That's right. No one. Oh, well, maybe next year we'll see if anyone will. It is going to be the true test next year.
Why is that? Because it's the last time chance for some of those guys?
Yeah. It's going to be very interesting how much they come up and stuff. We'll see.
I'm going to assume they're going to miss it.
It's going to be, that's going to be a big topic we can talk about next year when that happens. So, but hey, let's keep it moving. So, luckily tonight, like we just said, the guys got to be able to commentators get in the same booths. They've been separated. I think it's been annoying, but this is my thing is like our stadiums are getting full now. Why can't these radio and commentators go on the road?
That's a good question.
Like you think about ESPN Sunday Night Baseball has been getting done in their studio, watching games. So it's kind of hard to probably to feel the crowd. How's it going? You can only have to kind of look at the flags when you get shown, like how's the wind going? Like you can't just see it if you're in the stadium.
Yeah.
Why can't we have the guys traveling? I know like our SNY crew, they already said that they've all been vaccinated. So it's like they should be able to travel. Like, is it got to be the 85% for them to travel with the team, or they just baseball's not one to try it? Like, why not?
Yeah, that's a good question, man. I'm not sure why they're not letting them travel with the team because I feel like at this point in time, a lot of stadiums are opening up. There's more people allowed to go. If they're vaccinated, they're not. It's not like they're going around talking to a lot of people.
Yeah,
it makes sense for them to let them do their job now.
If anything, they can't travel with the team. They have to take a different flight. Okay, whoop-de-doo. Like,
send them.
Then send like one guy early that like you can separate the crew if they have a bigger crew or something. I don't know.
Makes you wonder if they're still hurting from last year's money because of the short season.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, like other businesses, like I think of ESPN a lot, where they always cut people a lot. Like they had a big firing at ESPN a couple years back, and they're still letting people go. Well, it all comes down to people have other means to watch sports. Whether it's through YouTube or different apps, so they don't have to go to ESPN now, like they did back then. It's like cable cutter, cord cutters now.
Yep.
So it's making me think that in this situation it's something similar, but it's because of COVID and the money was down. Like the incoming of money didn't come through, and they got to pay the players first and foremost.
Yeah.
So I just think it's budget, man.
It might be, or
I don't know what else excuse
they're trying to do safety still, but come on.
I don't think safety is an issue.
Yeah, I think now it's like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's time. I really hope, because like watching our crew, like, guys take a nap because, they had to stay up to the 10 o'clock game because even though they're East Coast, they got to adjust their bodies to be able to work starting at 10 o'clock at night and going until 12:01 in the morning.
Yeah.
I said, that's got to be tough. Like, you
got to be.
Like, that's what I thought about when I first heard. I'm like, man, because then last year they didn't travel. They stayed in the same area, so it wasn't that bad. But now this year, that's really probably got to test your bodies. Traveling team, you got to get used to the flights and stuff, but having to stay at home, wake up, go to the stadium to sit in a booth to watch TV,
Yeah, no,
and commentate from a TV that you have no control over what they show because you're using the away team's cameras, except for I think one they're allowed or something like that.
Right. It kind of reminds me, like I said, when we were talking about the KBO, they just had guys waking up early for ESPN, just watching the game, just talking about it.
Yeah, like
they could do this from their home too. I don't see why they need to be at the stadium if they're gonna do it this way.
Yeah.
Maybe they have a different feed that we don't know about. But it seems like you said, like they're just watching the away team's
because I
feed
think
and
one
talking.
time, one of the away games I watched from the Mets, they're like, "Oh, let's see if they re-show it." Oh, of course they're not.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
not ours. It's like, oh,
Exactly.
damn, that sucks because it's kind of hard. Like it takes a little fun out of it. You want to see the replays and certain stuff.
Plus, you're used to having guys who are working the videos for you to say, "Hey, let's go look at this again," or tell me something that I need to, So it's all off for them. Everybody's got to adjust.
Yeah, it's definitely probably harder to make them do their jobs. So I don't know, man. It's interesting. I really hope, if anything, after the All-Star break, figure it out. Let's get them back traveling. I hope. We can only hope for the best.
All right.
Well, on that topic, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. All right, we're back.
All right. So the next topic let's talk about is the Battle of Chicago City jerseys.
So, yeah, almost like back-to-back. I think it was like 2 weeks separated them. White Sox had their jerseys, and now Cubs, I believe, is this weekend's with their city jerseys. So far, so good with these jerseys. But
okay.
These two, they're Chicago's both this year.
Yeah.
Like, I figured if next year is Yankees Mets, that'd be an interesting one. See which ones, how different they are. So we figured we'd talk about each one of them from
Well,
Chicago.
it's funny you said that because now that I'm looking at these jerseys, I kind of think they'd be very similar. Like, so if you look at the Cubs jersey, it's Wrigleyville.
Yep.
It's blue, got the white lettering on it. I feel like the Mets would have something kind of similar to this style based off of these two teams, because I'm thinking that if you look at the White Sox jersey, the South Side, or whatever, with the stripes, I'm thinking that it'd be something similar. Well, which one do you like?
I prefer the White Sox. I think I like the Southpaw, the South Sides. I think the lettering looks a little better. I understand the Cubs ones; it looks more cleaner, the more the old schoolness of I think of Chicago. I think it's where it's more.
Well, I agree with you, man. I like the South Side jerseys better too. They look tougher, man.
Yeah.
I mean, my favorite one is still Miami.
Okay, yeah, looking at all of them. Miami, I think, does have the slight edge. I'm waiting to see how Dodgers going to do, and I think who's the only one we're missing. I think Arizona's could be interesting, but yeah, I really want to see what Dodgers do. You think of a big franchise, LA. I'm like, who's going to design that to kind of give it flair that represents LA? I
mean, don't get me wrong. I do like the Cubs jersey. It's got like a baby blue, white, and like a royal blue look to it. It looks pretty clean. But just for fear difference in what they're doing, like something different completely for the teams, I do like the Southside jerseys better. They're pretty tough.
Yeah, it was so funny seeing what is it? Our wonderful coach of the White Sox. Why am I drawing the blank?
No, not La Russa.
Yeah,
La
La Russa. And like that style jersey at the top of the dugout. That looks just so weird on you, bro.
Yeah, he would look better in the Wrigleyville jersey for sure.
So we haven't seen Arizona, San Francisco Giants, or Dodgers. Are the last three teams that have one this year.
Okay.
So yeah, Giants I can see could do something special too. Like really the three, it's interesting because White Sox, Boston Red Sox was that first one with the yellow, which was a little different. Of course, being the Red Sox has always been white red. It's like okay, it's different. Then the Miami.
So are they just throwing it back to whatever's local around?
It's like something like about the city and stuff.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So it's not like L.A. or something's going to go with the throwback Brooklyn Dodgers kind of style. No, okay.
It'll be something that represents the L.A. area.
Okay.
So it's like, man, what kind of like street artists you can use to kind of represent
that'd
LA?
Be sick.
And then Giants is like you got to think like what you're going to talk about the Bay more. Like it's gonna be interesting.
Okay.
And then what was it? Oh, Diamondbacks is like, how can you use Arizona like? Now with the Phoenix Suns doing this deep playoff run, do you take some of their colorways into the jersey? Mm-hmm. It's gonna be interesting to see what they do.
Maybe we should put these two jerseys up on Insta and see we get a vote who likes what.
Like who do you?
Which one do you like better?
Comment on the video below if you're on YouTube. Like which one do you prefer? Like we said,
I like both of them. I do.
Yeah.
It's just between the two, I'm leaning more towards the White Sox jersey because it's just different in a good way.
Yeah, it's South Side, the stripes, the black. I really like, but yeah,
But the more I look at the Wrigley one, it looks good though.
Yeah,
but yes, the Miami one,
the
yes,
Miami,
man, that's fire.
Yeah, the bright colors.
They've been doing it good in all their sports because, like I said,
I understand Boston's, like you said, but the yellow, I think it's just too much for me.
Yeah.
So,
well, like I said, my favorite different jersey is Miami Heat's, whatever that one was.
Oh yeah, the Miami Vice.
That thing is sweet.
So I'm really surprised they didn't do something like that, but I understand their the sugar canes and stuff like that. So it makes me wonder, like, what kind of color the Dodgers one's going to be. If you think kind of the bluish, what Cubs did, like, what would Dodgers be?
I don't know.
Yeah, like do they take like something like Boston where it's not like the traditional blue and white?
Right.
Let's go something random.
That's tough, man, because
like go purple and gold like for the Lakers.
That'd be weird.
That would be weird. But it wouldn't surprise me either.
I'm just saying, when I think of Dodgers, I go back to even like old movies like Born in East LA or whatever. Everybody rocks that LA cap, man. It's tough to get away from those colors.
It's gonna be interesting if it's like you said, like if it's a Laker color.
Yeah,
that's gonna be very interesting.
I like to see how they pull that off, but yeah,
yeah, that's definitely so. We'll, it's been fun this year. I really hope they continue this. And
did you hear that? It's been fun this year.
It is.
I'm saying MLB's actually having a little bit of fun.
Like,
a little bit of fun.
When they added like certain jerseys, when football started adding like some teams have the jerseys, I didn't like how they did the helmets one year. Then they realized they couldn't do the helmets. That sucks to kind of incorporate with the jerseys. But at least with this, they're having fun. Like what was it? A couple years ago when the Reds did this cut off sleeves. That year, where they're pumping the iron and I'm like trying to bring some fun back. So we'll keep an eye, and then even though Tampa Bay didn't, they wore the throwbacks from the original Rays, so they're trying to have some fun, and hopefully soon Mets will rock the Friday night black uniforms. So we can only hope and see soon. So we'll see, but MLB so far so good, doing the job, and that could be actually help with Nike taking over for the jerseys too.
Oh yeah,
they're probably having influence on that contract probably. So College World Series is all up on it right now. Unfortunately, our local team had a great year, great run, but came up just short. Well, during that series, if you didn't know this certain pitcher, it is unreal. Like, see if he can ever make it in the league and how he'll act if he ever gets in the league. You might want to know is UVA's relief pitcher, Steven Scotch.
Dude's a beast, man. I'm loving it because they're comparing him to Kenny Powers.
Yeah, like his post game interview when they beat South Carolina to advance to the finals against ODU, it was like a classic. Like that was like, who is this guy? He put him, but what surprised me is they kept leaving him in that final do or die game. I'm like, he's a relief pitcher. He's at 70 pitches.
What ham, dude?
And it's the way he throws. It's low and striking out. He was getting out of jams.
Yeah, was it him? I saw a video this morning, I think, of somebody with the Dippin' Dots. Was it him?
It was him. Like if you get out and he'll get you Dippin' Dots or something. I'm like, this guy is a character.
And which we need, man. I like characters,
So I think they started playing tonight. I haven't really checked to see if they're doing anything, but I know Vanderbilt won today. But man, like, think about if a character like that gets up, and especially with him hitting himself after getting up like a hit. He was like hitting himself, getting psyched. I'm like, yo, this guy is gonna be interesting if someone drafts him or just signs him.
Well, look,
let him come through the minor leagues.
So look, he's got things going for him. First of all, he's on UVA's team.
Yeah,
you got to be good enough. Yeah. First of all, to get on that team.
Yeah, he's like a 6-year senior. So I think because of COVID, he got one more year. So he's 6 years. So this is probably the true end. So it's either try to get the minor leagues, start to do something else, but he's got some stuff. So I think some teams are going to definitely look at him.
I think he's got to get a chance, man.
But man, he's a character. I wonder if that's going to shy people away from him or not.
It shouldn't.
I shouldn't either.
Especially, I don't know what kind of stuff he has all the way, but if he could even be like a closer, you got to have a guy like that, man.
Yeah.
Because that's intimidating. Yeah. And if he's having fun with it, now you're hitting all check marks, man. All boxes.
Dude, he is something.
Yeah, he's like unapologetically myself.
Yeah. I'm like, who is this guy? Like, but man, UVA, yet again, like, even though not ranked this year towards the end of the year, but they're coming together hot.
they're always a team. They're always a baseball team.
They haven't been in the Super Regionals since winning it all.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, they're making a run again. We'll see,
He's definitely entertaining.
Yeah.
To say the least.
At least, man, what a character. So.
Well, and speaking of college baseball, another topic that I kind of wanted to briefly touch on because I saw the news today and I tagged you. I don't know if you got to see it or not.
Yeah.
But ODU, they made a great run this season.
Our local team.
Yeah, we talked about them. They ended up being ranked 11th in the tournament. They were a number 1 seed. However, they weren't the host team, and we thought it was because of something crazy. But apparently, it's because their stadium was not up to par to be a host team. They didn't have the facility for the medical rooms, like the 2 big rooms in case there was a rain out, and they didn't have areas for the cameras to be and stuff like that.
That sucks. Well, what do you call it? They were a state-of-the-art stadium once they built it back in the 80s.
The 80s, yeah.
It's anything like, okay, look, where's the money? It's time to either upgrade, build a new stadium.
But that's what I'm hyped about is because the president, I think, said that he is going to allocate money. They're going to try to raise funds, millions of dollars, to make these upgrades, and they're actually putting money into the baseball team.
That's good.
That's crazy.
If you think about it, come on, Verlander came from this.
He did.
His brother, of course, came from there and stuff. It's like they've been some prospects,
right? But if you think about ODU, they're recently getting into the sports.
Yes.
They've had a basketball team that's been their shining star for most of the time. They got a great stadium, the Constant Center. But now I think they call it Chartway Arena now. But but then they're starting to get to football. Now football's taking off like crazy, and they're actually putting a lot of money into that. But it's great to see them actually allocate funds and think about baseball because that's not one of those major crowd drawing teams, especially not at ODU.
Yeah.
Maybe like South Carolina, like you saw, and stuff like that. UVA for sure.
Yeah.
But UVA also had like Ryan Zimmerman donate some money to them.
Yeah, he
and their
usually
program.
donates and stuff. And a lot of their guys that came through there.
And that's because they're a great program.
Yeah.
Well, ODU could be that next great program.
They can start they've been making way, and hopefully this is just the beginning.
But the president had, I don't know exactly what the wording was, but he's like, it's unfair for these student athletes who worked as hard to get to this point, and we can't support them. We're not putting enough money or effort into what they're doing, and now they're actually taking a look at it and saying, hey, we're going to fix this.
Yeah.
I like it, man.
I do too. So UVA, they start tomorrow
at noon.
Yep.
Okay.
Against Dallas Baptist. So
all right.
And they actually didn't go nowhere. I forgot that it was in South Carolina, the Super Regional. So
okay, good
so
for
they didn't
them.
have to travel too much. So they had a couple days probably to work on stuff there. So best of 3 to go to the final 8, pretty much.
I mean, obviously, I would have loved to see ODU versus UVA in Omaha, but I guess now I got to root for UVA.
Yeah, we'll support them, see how they do. It's gonna be interesting, especially seeing with these Vanderboys. Those 2 pitchers, they handled today East Carolina 2-0. So of course they play tomorrow. Of course they win. They punch their ticket to the next round. If not, then they'll go to a do or die game 3. So
all right,
I think that's all we got for this week.
I think that's it, man.
So, if you like what you're hearing, please like, share, subscribe. Check out all our social media platforms, Instagram, TikTok. We'll catch y'all next time. Peace.
You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up.